Lincoln Keenholz's first spring as an Ohio State football will get underway. Lincoln Keenholz's first spring as an Ohio State football player will get underway on Tuesday. He's been undergoing his first winter as an Ohio State football player for the past couple of months, and he says he's added about 7 pounds, all muscle, according to him. He thinks it's all muscle, and trying to get himself ready for a competition this spring. And whether that's the competition to be number one, that's what he says you kind of have to go into it with that mindset, but he's also realistic. He knows there's 2 experienced guys ahead of him, and Will Howard and Devin Brown, and he has a longer kind of projection for this about where he's going to end up. So I guess the question that we've all been asking, because it relates to what's going on with Devin Brown and the competition he's in, can Lincoln Keenholz be the backup quarterback Ohio State needs in 2024 if it comes to that?
Yeah, I think that should be the expectation at bare minimum for him. Why shouldn't he be? The last 2 guys who were in his position going into year 2, where there's a guy who probably is going to be the starter ahead of him, they were the backup quarterback in year 2. And to the point of the muscle thing, the first time I saw Lincoln Keenholz last summer when he got here, he was a skinny little twig. That dude walked out into the Woody today and was jacked. So I believe him with some of this muscle talk. But, yeah, I don't think that's a crazy expectation that in year 2, when you have a situation where there's a quarterback battle going on and we're not sure if one of the guy who loses that quarterback battle is going to stay as an older guy, the second-year guy probably should be in a position to be this backup quarterback.
Probably should be. I think that's the question, though. Like, obviously, he didn't get to show everything that he is in the Cotton Bowl. He was asked about that today. Like, did you have the whole playbook to work from? And he said, well, sort of, but then the way the game was called was maybe more of a game manager, but the circumstances of that game, frankly, probably called for that. He even said, like, I don't think Ryan Day wanted to put me out there in a position to fail. And obviously a lot of failure was going on with the offense that night that made things tough for him. But Andrew, I guess what do you need to see from him this spring that would give you the confidence that if he ends up being number 2 by default or I guess winning out over the true freshman, that he can be the backup Ohio State needs?
Well, I think you want to see the grasp of the offense, right? You want to see that he can control the offense and there's not a portion of the playbook that is off limits. Right? There's not a portion of the playbook for him where you just say, he can't run this stuff. Now, Will Howard can run. Like, Will Howard there are different things like that. That's not what I'm saying. There are different portions of a playbook that maybe open up for a running quarterback that, might close for certain guys or open for certain guys. So I get that. But in terms of having the assortment of everything at your disposal, you want to have that ready to go because I think he can get there. I don't think he's there now. He hasn't had a spring practice yet. You need spring practice, and I think you need a summer, and I think you need a fall camp, and I've made this point a lot. The first couple games of next year, there's some opportunities to play some backups. You're going to play Akron. You're going to play Marshall. You're going to play Western Michigan. You have a bye week in there. Your first Big Ten game is Michigan State. Like, I think you can get there. So I don't think he's there now. I don't even know if he's going to be there when fall camp starts to be ready to be the backup quarterback, even if he does start as the backup quarterback. But I do think you can get there because this is a kid who comes from an area of the country where high school football, no offense, is not exactly the highest level of high school football in the country. And you just need some acclimation time, right? He hasn't been here for a whole year yet. Now he has. He hasn't seen the whole offense, like everybody has. Now he has. Like, there are just different things that are going to take some time. And I think with reps and with all these things that can happen over these, next 6 months or whatever, I think that that's really going to help him. So if the answer is he ready to be the backup quarterback right now? The answer is no. If the question is, can he be the backup quarterback and can he be ready to be the backup quarterback on August 31st? I feel way better about that than I do right now.
Yeah, I asked him today, like, what was the thing that was maybe the most beneficial about the Cotton Bowl for him, and he said that it was getting into a game and finding out how fast it really is. Like, you're on the field in a New Year's Six Bowl against a top 10 team from the SEC. Like, it's real at that point, and it's coming at you quick. And the follow-up to that was like, okay, so how did you carry that into the winter? And he said that there were things he was working on with Paul Fitch, who just left, but was here as the quarterback. Todd Fitch, who was here working with the quarterbacks as an analyst, and there were some things he was working on with him, with some other people, to kind of incorporate that kind of mindset, that sped up mindset into the things he was doing in the offseason. Because I still think the thing that, as you're alluding to, Andrew, the thing where he has to close the gap is probably just sophistication, offensive sophistication, passing sophistication. And the thing is, you've got a couple guys coming in below you who are extremely talented and who maybe have been playing at a higher level, have a little bit of a head start as they're beginning their college careers. So how do you hold off those guys and be everything Ohio State would need you to be? Because as much as Ryan Day has talked about how the mobility of Will Howard's going to be an asset, how he wants the quarterbacks to run more, you've still got to be able to throw the ball in this offense, and that's where I'm eager to see this spring what he looks like throwing the ball, because we sure didn't get a very good look at that in the Cotton Bowl. This will really be our first chance to see that, and we're eager to see that and many, many other things. And when we see them, we'll be texting about it, 614-350-3315, and we'll be talking about it on Buckeye Talk 5 days a week. Get that wherever you can find podcasts.